This is the Cutting Edge and RFM there with you next Wednesday. That was Cabo. That tribute to a sister named Enid, and she passed away. So it is now about 2 years, stand to be corrected, that the Prime Minister of Jamaica apologized for the Coral Garden massacre. And also they told the world that they're going to have a trust fund putting away, I think it's $10 million to help alleviate the suffering and the problems that a lot of the survivors went through in 1963. Hush, hush, hush. Don't say nothing. We don't hear nothing. We don't hear nothing again about it. And we know that a couple of the elders passed away since that. I don't know if something is going on behind the scene. There is an organization named the Rastafari Benevolent Society. I don't know. I don't hear from them time there. I don't even know what is going on, but it would be good to know what is happening. I am very concerned that I hear a whole heap of things say when there was the Coral Garden anniversary this year. Whole heap of things was said. I would understand. It's like a silence just come over the whole thing, you know, where we not hear nothing again. These things should not be happening under the sheet, you know, because all Rastafari brethren and sisters would like to know what is taking place with this promise, and I'm going to call it a promise, by the Jamaica Labour Party government that instigated the crimes and the atrocity against Rastafari in 1963. They are the ones that come back now after so much years and say them going to do something to alleviate that little stress. Well, we don't hear nothing more. This is 2 years now. And we don't hear nothing more happen, nothing more said about did some of the money was taken out? Was it taken out to help those in need? What is happening? Big question. What is happening to that promise that was made, that we heard so big on the radio, in Parliament, the apology? What is happening to that? We need to find out if somebody can make me know that I can ease my spirit about this. Because we march, and believe you me done with the march thing. Even though me say me done with the march thing the other day, and I'm going to march again. I'm going to march during the mining march there. We go march, go down to Parliament. But believe you me not march again. Me done with the marching thing, you know. Yeah, me done with the marching thing. Yeah, black people love march. Because we march and bring the attention of what we're marching for to the public. And then everything just go back to where it was. Me really would have liked to know where the Rastafari Benevolent Society reach with their negotiations with the government as it relates to doing something, some reparation for the elders that is still alive and surviving under some extreme poverty conditions. And yet still them tell you, say, I am told that they was going to start a farm, that they was going to get house for house. So a whole heap of things we are here. Meanwhile, ones and ones is dying. Yes, dying. I need to find out. I'm miserable. Miserable. Given that we hear so much things are going on in the society as of now. And we hear this government have put themselves in line to win next election by pushing certain things out there. Pushing certain things out there. And we are watching, we are watching, so we are going. We see all the ganja thing kind of depend a little older now because there's so much ones are open medicinal places where you can go and get your medicinal ganja. And we see that almost come like little more, you see, these little places where it's like a rum bar, them going got enough all over the place. And enough of them will be losing money too. Yeah, enough of them will be losing money. We know how much in a Kingston. 1, 2, 3, 4. We know at least 4 or 5 of them in a Kingston alone. Yes, we know that. One just opened last 2 weeks ago. One just opened again. Rastafari still try to get a foothold in the whole thing. Rastafari still try to get a foothold in the whole thing. But there's problems out there with this money. The money that is supposed to be moving through America is seen as money laundering, drug money. So the government of Trump is saying, look here, the money they can't pass through the bank, So the man, them who do it, you have to find other ways, other methods of getting them money. And it can't go through no bank. Because the bank, them here, is saying that them can't take the chance to send them money there in a them banking system because them don't want to be penalized by the American government. So there goes another problem. Meanwhile, them burning up the ganja still. Them is confiscating enough ganja and burning it. These little things, it's things where they did up on the table for a long time, you know. And we see some little things are going, you know, that we're jealous. Yeah, we're jealous. Because what them do now, not making money for the country, it is more putting the country in debt. In debt. And we who have suffered and has felt the humiliation of the system. The humiliation of the system. We still have to go through and maintain ourselves. And not that anything is wrong with maintaining ourselves, because that is the purpose. We have always been maintaining ourselves. But you have people out there that is making money that don't like Rasta. Them don't like Rasta, but they're making money from the culture and the expression of Rastafari. Enough of them, here and abroad. Here and abroad. So, we really want to find out these things. We see that the Rastafari Festival that is held in Negril is happening I think it's the 21st, 22nd, 21st and 22nd, in Negril. We see Chronics and Friends slated to perform there. Yes, it's a good thing. IAV is continuing that journey, that manifestation where him holding on upon something and making certain move. We have to talk to him too about what is going on that side of the fence, especially as it relates to his connections and links with the outside forces, as it relates to the Rastafari industry that many people know, billions of dollars is being made. Colorado, Canada, Uruguay, and all these places. Meanwhile, still we are shuffling a bottle. Some guys are coming and are tightly grip away now. The government, they are going like say, they must see I'm blind, ear and deaf. Serious thing. Rastafari, maintain yourself, Maintain your culture. No make no one come buy out. Because that is what it is all about. It's buy out and sell out. Because we see it happen. We see a whole heap of things are going on. Where a draft in Rasta in night. It's very un-Rasta too. A dry in Rasta in night. And whole heap of ones that fall feet. Yeah, whole heap of ones that fall feet. The neglect of culture. The neglect of culture is a very significant part in the downfall of any people. The downfall of any people. And when someone can make you live out their culture and make you start to believe that it is your culture, then so that is it. You call that neocolonialism. And now we say the majority of African people is living in a confused state of falsehood, where they think that what they are doing is of their own, is them doing it. And don't realize it's like they are genetically modified. Yes. Black people genetically modified. If you look on how we behave and how we go on, we not come and fight. Yeah, man, you got tired to hear this. You are going to keep saying it. We are genetically modified. Because the behavior, that me I say, when I look on my WhatsApp, and I look on certain people, WhatsApp will send me I say, what the hell is going on? Is this Marcus Garvey people? Is this Kwame Nkrumah people? Patrice Lumumba people? Jomo Kenyatta people? Steve Biko people? All the list goes on and on and on and on. I want to make it come like, say, these people. The other day, I'm so long and I watched this movie named Harriet. For those of you who don't know Harriet Tubman, that African woman who fought to free a lot of Africans who was bound and bind in slavery. Carry them through something named the Underground Railroad. And I'm watching this thing and I am saying to myself, but you mean say all a woman go through all of that? She go through all of that. I mean, through river and dog and run her down and she free 750 Africans from slavery, move them from the south, go into the north, almost, well, not north really, but near to the north. Because she used to carry them go to Philadelphia. And then 500 miles more to Canada. And this woman defy all logics. When them say she can't do it, and she do it. But you know, in the movie, them never say it, but I quote it all the while, and I go and quote it again. This woman, with them call Moses, say, I have freed so many slaves, but I could have freed more if only they knew they were slaves. I have freed so many slaves. I could have freed more if only they knew they were slaves. Can you imagine? All we sit down here so for years and I say, why a whole heap of people me touch, you know. Whole heap of African people will free their mind. But guess what? We could have freed enough more if only them know so their mind was washed. Wash out all of them consciousness. Them wash out all of them culture. Wash out all of them spirituality, them divine quality. I could have freed many more if only they know they were in a traumatic sense of illusion about self. But when I stop, no, we're not stopping. Just like the woman will say, yeah, me not stop. Me go back for all my father and my mother. Yes. The way they stick about that movie there, you know, it cut short and all in the body, well, the smallest theater them have at the Cineplex was what show in the movie. And the place wasn't packed. That was, it never stay a carry. I don't think everything, yeah, they go a carry, but really and truly, nobody no wants to see them kind of movie there in Jamaica, especially the masses of the people. The masses of the people don't want to see that kind of movie. They want to see fantasy. Like when them say all the Black Panther, the fantasy of Africa. Even though it have a storyline, but the storyline is so abstract in the Black Panther, because they make the hero dead night. As far as I am concerned, they make the hero dead night. But it's those kind of movies draw African people where it's so abstract and so fantastic that you don't get no hardcore mindset where it can say yes, you know, this and that and this and that. Because I remember everybody was in African clothes in the theater. Yes, everybody was in African clothes in the theater. And not saying that Harriet is a heavy movie. I mean, it's a movie, it's a Hollywood movie. But it shows you some things. It shows you some things in it. And I am looking at this movie and I say, look on this woman. This woman in her history travel on foot with Africans as a woman, man and woman and picnic, carry them out of the slave state them and carry them to the free state them. Because you have certain state further north that was free. You know, further down south where them call the Confederates was. Those were the guys who never want to stop the slavery. The guy them further up north, up into Canada, them liberate, well I say liberate, but them emancipate the slavery, them quicker than the one them down so. because them was more liberal in them thinking. And them was fighting also against the Confederates. So there was a civil war in America. And in between that, you have black people a fight to free America so that America can psychologically enslave them more. You'll have some man named the Buffalo Soldiers. The Buffalo Soldiers, all these Africans was doing, fighting with the white man against the indigenous people of the land, which was the Native Americans. Because them think them would be free. Them think all no African people would be justly rewarded with 40 acres and a mule, according to what they were promised, 40 acres and a mule. So they treated the Native Americans just like how the white man treat them, the black people, them. And up to this day, the 40 acres and a mule was never given to the free Africans at the time when they said them was due, just like how the 20 million pound was given to Bakra Massa, the landowners in Jamaica. 20 million pound for loss of workers during the time of emancipation. Them give them 20 million pound. And Lego the African them and say, go and go fend for yourself. And them left way pan land that was not ours according to them. We never have nothing. And if you go upon them land, you are killed or you go back into slavery. That is what it was. It forced you to all thief and kill some white people. Even if you was a church goer, you did have to do these things. Because when you free a man and you don't give him justice in terms of reparation, because you work him for years, you work him family for years. Some of them born into slavery. And you work them for years. And you don't give them nothing. You just let them go and say, "I go on." And you let them go with your name, Johnson, Thompson, White, Brown, Henry, McIntosh, McLaughlin, McGregor. Can you imagine? You are running a Jamaica from Westmoreland and you reach a Trelawney and a white guy see you and buck you up and say, "What's your name?" And you say your name, McGregor. All of a sudden him say he's a runaway slave because him know McGregor in a Westmoreland. All them just capture back and make sure him send emissaries to say, "Go call McGregor here." When I'm slave them run away. Because that was how them identify the African them. Give you the name of your slave master. Literally, give you the name of your slave master. And when them give you the name of your slave master, John, and you run away. And them one next white man catch you in the next part of Jamaica. What is your name? Massa, my name John. He say, what? Him just will empire. And anyway, him know John there. Sir John. Him go get in touch with Sir John and say, "Sir John, I have a man here who have your name." Him say, "Oh, he ran away." You see, when you go back to John, Massa John, 100 lashes. And them work harder. Now, how can we go through all of these things? How can we see these things in our psyche, in our consciousness, in our DNA. How can we know it's we, same one that got through it? Because I am my ancestor. It's I, the lynching, slavery, I got through it. And different someone got through it, is I got through it. Then if I got through all of this, and I come here so now and see all of me, brethren, sisters, mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, uncle and friends, I got through it. And I could just go on like nothing. I just not do nothing about it. I just, yes, massa, no, massa. According to Malcolm X. Malcolm X say, when the master house are burned down, the house slave say, massa, we house burning down. When master sick, him say, we sick. It's like when you go to a certain store and you go in there and see the girls them who are working at them store. And when you ask them for something, them go like, exist them upon them cell phone and go like, they're there. And when you ask them for something, you have anything, we don't have any. Like say, I'll fit them place too. And look most of them walk on the road and say, when you tell them, so, oh, I 12 o'clock ride upon them, say, we get fired. So how you become we? When the guy inside it, so who is the owner, will make you buy what you don't want. So how can we come here so now and see all of this and I go like everything is fine, dandy and okay? And when we talk certain way, and when we behave certain way, and when we react certain way, the same little house slave, bossy slave, I come tell you, say, why we are doing all of that if we not see slavery done. Slavery is still in effect. Slavery is still in effect. You think a man have to put chain on your foot to tell you say you're not slavery? You think a man have to tell you say him put you behind 4 walls to tell you say you're in a prison? You don't have to have 4 walls to be in prison. You can't be a prisoner in your condition that you find yourself in. That you want to come out and you can't come out because you become the condition where them put you in. Like the educational system, the indoctrination that them have in the school them from them time there until now. You see we are going, them things they to do is to just create little zombies to come and perpetuate the system that them put there, that them don't have to be present for it work. Them not have to be present for it work. It work whether them is there physically or not because them have them little zombies, them little bossy slave for direct your course, your life. Tell you what to eat, how to have sex, when to have sex, what to wear. That is what them do. What to listen to. The educational system is there to maintain European thoughts. That's why it can't be different. The social order cannot change if we keep reading the same book where the slave master give away and doing the same thing where the slave master do and behave the same way where the slave master behave. And then real until then say, boy, what slavery done long time, because we're not seeing no white people are oppressed. We are oppressed ourselves. And we are oppressed ourselves. But who is we who is oppressing ourselves? This is the cutting edge. Yes, this is the cutting edge. We're going to go back to Pat Clark. Here we go.
Hi there, I'm Pat Clark. Welcome to Jamaican Roots and Culture. Historically, the evolution of Jamaican Patois has not been without a fight from the British colonial enslavers. At the top of the list of words which the colonizers viewed as bad words were words of African origin. Those words were usually used in reference to parts of the female anatomy and their life-creating functions. If properly traced, the words which have come to be known as Jamaican expletives have quite respectable origins. Jamaican curse words that refer to female genitalia and bloody specifics of the menstrual cycle are signs of the potency of female sexuality. This woman power that is summoned in the act of voicing the so-called bad word is an acknowledgement of the creative powers of Jamaican women as mothers and nurturers. It's almost impossible for those of us external to the culture to fully appreciate the explosive power of some of these outlawed Jamaican words. Believe it or not, there is positive energy, not just negative, behind most of these Afrocentric good words which have been outlawed in our society, although they were an intricate part of our culture. From back in the colonial days, the use of those words have been banned because of their powerful and colorful potency. If we look at words from face value, no word can be considered bad. Rather, it is sometimes the context in which the words are used which may be problematic. Some of the words which have been banned in Jamaica and deemed as bad words can be traced back to African spirituality. According to the Boshongo people of Central Africa, in the beginning there was only darkness, water, and a great God. One day the God vomited and the sun appeared. It vomited again and the moon appeared, as did the stars and animals, including man and woman. The god's name was Bomba. Boshongo people tend to refer to this god even when they're swearing. Hence, the B word outlawed in Jamaica is attributed to this source of origin and is also an attempt to outlaw African spirituality in Jamaica by the colonial powers. Procreation is a divine act. The god Bomba creates man and woman, including their most private parts, and Bomba appears to have named the female genitalia after herself. Trinidadian literacy critic and linguist Professor Maureen Warner-Lewis recounts her observation of erotic folk dances in Berbice, Guyana. First of all, the body language, she says, was quite similar to that of the Jamaican dance hall. The leader of the dance circle erotically clapped one hand over her genitals while raising her other hand to clasp the back of her neck. The leader described her action as part of a wedding dance that highlights the significance of fertility. She said the B word refers to the female genitals, a word much used in Jamaica as an obscenity and which has several Central African sources. The Bembe and Nyangambombombo is used in reference to the genitalia. So the spirit of fertility is hailed in African erotic dance and female sexuality, but banned in Jamaica. Jamaica has banned the use of the cloth in polite society. So, whereas colorful yards of cloth tend to be manufactured in private, it ought not be dispensed in public. One certain thing is that words used as expletives in Jamaica are a fascinating part of our culture, and foreigners are even capitalizing on them, using them to name alcoholic beverages. Tourists also want to learn our Jamaican curse words and tend to get great satisfaction from the powerful response elicited by these words. It appears that only Jamaicans are forced by law to be afraid of the consequential uses of these words. And now, to end Jamaican roots and culture, here are some words of wisdom from a Jamaican proverb. You can't sit down pan cow back and cuss cow kin. You cannot sit on the back of a cow and curse the skin of the cow. This means that you should never be ungrateful or disdainful of those people who help you. You can't sit down pan cow back and cuss cow kin. For Jamaican Roots and Culture, I'm Pat Clark.
Okay, so here we go.
The white woman has been the only woman we have had an opportunity to study every day of our life. On television, in every magazine we ever picked up, in every newspaper, on every radio. She's been the only model we have had. And if we think that that's not important, then we need to, look at that again. We have studied that, and we have made up and came up with requirements that the white people have set for us for our man. And if he cannot come up to those requirements, then we have decided that he is impotent and unable to be our man because he's disqualified, because he does not qualify by the standards that the white people have set up. We think a good, successful relationship is one where everything goes our way. The first time it stops going our way, then we got a serious problem. We want our man to do everything we tell him to do, but we don't want to do anything he tells us to do. They have told us that the only provision that the black man is qualified to give us is one of money. And we have made finance the major focus of our relationships with them. We have made the one thing that most of them don't even have be the criteria. We have been taught that if they do not give us money, that we are not to even allow them to be a father to their child. We have been taught that if he does not give us money, then he is not qualified to tell us what to do. We have been taught that if he does not give us money, that he doesn't have any rights in the home. It's whoever is making the money who has the rights. That's not our system. The black man provides more in a black home than just financial support. He provides direction, guidance, gratification, fulfillment, and discipline for our children.
Hey, so we have to play that again. We have to play it again. We have to play it again. Yes.
Woman has been the only woman we have had an opportunity to study every day of our life. On television, in every magazine we ever picked up, in every newspaper, on every radio. She's been the only model we have had. And if we think that that's not important, then we need to, look at that again. We have studied that, and we have made up and came up with requirements that the white people have set for us for our man. And if he cannot come up to those requirements, then we have decided that he is impotent and unable to be our man because he's disqualified, because he does not qualify by the standards that the white people have set up. We think a good, successful relationship is one where everything goes our way. The first time it stops going our way, then we got a serious problem. We want our man to do everything we tell him to do, but we don't want to do anything he tells us to do. They have told us that the only provision that the black man is qualified to give us is one of money. And we have made finance the major focus of our relationships with them. We have made the one thing that most of them don't even have be the criteria. We have been taught that if they do not give us money, that we are not to even allow them to be a father to their child. We have been taught that if he does not give us money, then he is not qualified to tell us what to do. We have been taught that if he does not give us money, that he doesn't have any rights in the home. It's whoever is making the money who has the rights. That's not our system. The black man provides more in a black home than just financial support. He provides direction, guidance, gratification, fulfillment, and discipline for our children.
The cutting edge and I refrain, we're going through the pieces at after 12 o'clock. We're going to the archives. I will heap a youth in the Rastafari community right now. Them tend not to know certain history. If you ask them about certain people, it don't really make no difference to them, because right now they might say, the youth, call upon the youth because the youth is strong. But remember, say, the older one than them, they have the youth still. Anyway, we're going to go into the archives and bring you a brethren named Jalide, Judah Coptic Jalide, who create whole heap of disturbance in Jamaica because of him resilient and very forceful arguments for Rastafari. Physically do things to a tree where the Queen plant in a memorial park there, in Brunswick. Burn it down, burn down the tree in the park. Yes. We were play an interview we did with Jalide from South Africa. You know, Jalide passed away in Africa, really. He never come forward. He passed away in Africa. I can't tell you about the next brethren where they leave and go Tanzania name. We can catch my levels, you know. Daniel Hartman, the artist. Daniel Hartman, it's amazing that I meet him son the other day over there in New York at the Dark Award, DRC Award. And the brethren was carrying on the legacy of his father. He had the picture, the most copied artwork from Jamaica of this little youth, this little Rasta youth, yes. Everywhere you go, you see that picture. You'd have never know, say, it's a Jamaican artist doing Daniel Hartman. Many more pictures him up too. But I met him son the other day at the New York thing, and his son had a lot of the pictures selling. Copies of the picture selling, you know. For those of you who see the art that they come, you might remember that Rastafari brethren who was helping Jimmy Cliff. When he did a beard, him come out of the water and flash him locks. I know a whole heap of female from foreign come to Jamaica because of just that clip. Just that clip. Them come to Jamaica. Because they never seen nothing like that yet. Never seen nothing like that yet. And that was like 40 years ago. So you must know, say, that was the time when, you know, nobody now check about Rastafari in a certain way. Well, them come at Jamaica and swam Jamaica because them see this Rasta come out of the water and flash him locks. Anyway, Jalide, as we say, was an artist also. Yeah, Jalide still have some serious artwork. I don't know which part of them artwork they're there, but I know some reach Ethiopia and then end up in South Africa. He was on him way to Libya. A group of one was going to see Gaddafi. Yes, they was going to see Gaddafi because Gaddafi had promised certain things. You understand? So after 12, we're going to play that interview we did with Jalide. Way down in them time there. I don't remember the year when I did it, but you might hear it on the tape too. In the meantime, in between time, as they would say, here we go. Still long island slavery. More slavery. Yeah, them man there, from them time there. You know them way there? Yes. You know the hands. Bonuela, Peter Tosh, Bob Marley, you know them and them. You know them way? So you know, as we tell you about Jalide, that name ring a bell in a Spanish town. Jalide was an artist. And him have some serious artwork. We don't even know which part of them artwork they you know, believe you me. He'll have a virgin where him still about Bono. Bono was also an artist. Great artist. Great artist, man. That picture of Nanny where you see upon the money. But Bono paint that. Bono artwork that. Yeah, that picture of Nanny that you see upon the money, the $500 bill. The brother named Bono do that picture. Anyway, when Jalide passed away, it was really a weird thing because he was just on the cusp of going to Libya. Because they was going to make some arrangement. And I remember too also that even this One Love concert that Rita Marley was promoting all over Africa, and one came here too, down at James Bond Beach, it was held. We attended one in Ghana, and they had one in Ethiopia. Well, it was going to Libya. When Gaddafi was there, it was going to Libya, and arrangements were being made, but as we said, the cookie crumbled. But the struggle continues. And even though Jalide is not here with us, give thanks to science and technology where we can really keep you abreast of these brethren. You know, we also want to play an interview we did with Martimo Plano. Everyone know Martimo Plano. He was the man who stand up on the plane when Haile Selassie come here. Haile Selassie call him and, you know, him come and stand up on the plane and say, His Majesty want to come out of the plane, and me I tell you, say the crowd move like it was a Red Sea apart, man. And he's a man where meet Haile Selassie one-on-one as the only dreadlocks who go up on the mission to Ethiopia at the time with all the other ones them. His Majesty sit down with him one-on-one, and some things where him talk to His Majesty about, I tell you, unbelievable. Good for hear these things direct from the man them who experience these things, you know. And we sit with him, Martimo, you say, not long, but him stay with me. You know, I'm sick bed there, and him was a great brethren, even though him fall in the bad mouth of enough Rasta. I know, say, I will a Rasta. No care what you do, him have something bad to say about you. But him doing work, and he's held as a great philosopher. When you listen to Plano talk, you know, say philosopher now if you go and a university and get no doctorate. Because the first man who get a doctorate, he never have none. But you have some Rastafari brethren where set the pace out there. And it's just a pity that a whole heap of them youth, you know, come up in a just reggae. Yeah, them not come up in a nothing else but reggae. So all of them viewpoint of Rastafari is true where the reggae artists sing and where the reggae artists say. You understand? But it is good to know some of these brethren history. You know, you have Puro. Brethren named Puro. I tell you. Bongo Rocky. And Baby I, who passed away in Ethiopia. Great. Bongo Rocky and Baby I, man. May I tell you, when you go to Bingy and you see them a chant, man. It's like, may I tell you, serious chanting at the Bingy house. And there's a woman who have beard too. Yes, well, one's frightened when them see her, you know, because she have beard. Yes, she refused to cut that. She go to Ethiopia, a big strapped-in woman, very strapped-in. But as we say, all heap of ones pass and gone. And one of the things say, when them say Haile Selassie dead, it should have been the end of Rastafari. But we see it grow till all the Roman children take up the sound of Rastafari in them face and them head, and I walk with it like it's for them one too. And twist it and turn it too. Through the reggae music. Never experienced nothing else in Rasta more than the reggae music. Most of them, not all of them, but most of them do it. Them come to Rastafari through reggae. So when them hear certain things attack, you know, like all me, I know, it's like, it scared them because they never hear that. You know, the reggae artists, them mouth yet. And you know, to the reggae artist mouth, is gospel. Especially when the reggae artists they are foreign in a hotel room attack or upon a stage attack. It's a different thing from them come here hardcore reasoning in a Jamaica, in a some bush, or even upon this program. It's like it scare them. They never know so Rasta stayed away there. Stayed away there, you know. It's all glamour and glitter and, you know, smoking herbs and, you know, beating drum, and them a beat the drum too. It's a terrible thing. A terrible thing. When you go somewhere and see a white guy a beat, they bring it, the kettle drum. Yes, I say, but wait, our man a gay him weapon to the enemy, and the enemy not prove himself to be friend yet. Can't do that. But it's so it go. And people overlook these things nowadays. Yeah, people overlook that the drum, the kete, funde, and repeater is a weapon against spiritual wickedness in high and low places. The weapon that Rastafari use in the Naya Bingi chant house. That is where they did ban in a slavery. That is where Queen Naya Bingi use in a Uganda. So no, because we're reaching a place now where we get caught. Oh, we are going to give our weapon to the sons and daughters of our slave master to sing the same song. How can we give the master's children the weapon that we are using to liberate ourselves mentally? There's no contradiction in that. Because then, if we do that, then we don't, or we can't see no result in just chanting the drums like ancient times. When the drum resonates in ancient times. When Queen Naya Bingi and her sister in them beat the drum and it echo in the heart of the European invaders and shake them up. How can you give the funde, the repeater, and the bass drum to the children of our slave masters to chant Naya Bingi? You must be crazy. You're smoking some bad ganja, man. Yes, you're smoking some, what them call it, BD. Madness, you're drinking some Innocent. And balling out Rastafari. It's a craziness. And we know we scare a whole heap of people when we say these things. They think we don't know. We know we scare them. But guess what? At the truth we attack. Because that it was not meant to be what we see today. It was not meant to be that way. It's turned round by the same people them who are it out against. And them, it's like how the Bible is stories of black people written by white people. So them know where them are do. Them put where them are put, take out and make all villain, all the hero in the book. So when we read it now, we don't recognize how it go. I just somehow we are decipher and even put our own interpretation to it and don't care what them want to say. But it's true we attack. Can you imagine the Israelites them are travel with the Ark of the Covenant and see the Philistines them and give the Philistines them the Ark of the Covenant. It's madness. How can you give the Ark of the Covenant to the Philistines? All the nations around you who is oppressing you. That don't make no sense. Because the drum is supposed to be a sacred weapon. That is an order of the Naya being gay. And not just ball out Naya being, because some people don't even know who is Naya being gay or who was Naya being gay. What is the purpose of Naya being gay? Whatever man has said Naya being gay now, even the sons of the slave master echo it back one way. So it becomes frivolous. It becomes something of no strength and power. Because we give up a weapon to the slave master. And now them form them own little group in them own little corner now. And a chant, say them a chant Naya Biggie. Why, may I tell you, man, the thing stay away. This is the cutting edge. We're there with you. We're actually waiting on the call from South Africa, you know. You're there with me? Okay, nice, beautiful. Yes. Forward in.
You're right.
Blessed, my lord.
Yeah.
Jalide and
Rastafari will magnify.
Johannesburg. Oh, you the man?
Well, the connection not too great tonight, not hearing the eye.
All right, tell me if you hear me now.
Yeah, hearing I well?
I hearing you well.
Beautiful, I'm just barely hearing in the eye still.
Yeah, where does I heal up the eye from in South Africa, you know?
Well, most sincere Thanksgiving, my brethren. What time is it there now?
The time is 5 minutes past 1 o'clock in the morning, so it's about 9 o'clock, 5 minutes past 9 over in Johannesburg, right?
True. The traffic was terrible to get into a secure line that we could call, you know?
All right.
But we're still on time.
So Jalide is in South Africa. What is happening there now with Jalide?
A more sincere Thanksgiving to be on the continent of the promised land, to know that we are walking the said earth as the might of the whole of Trinity, I Selassie. Because, you know, so we get an invitation from the royalty of Ethiopia to arrive in Addis Ababa to do a conference regarding normalization of relations between the Africans at home and abroad. And when we were in Jamaica, we had the privilege of meeting up with Excellency Revolutionary Presidency, Thabo and Becky, and we had secure confidential audience, of which the international settlement of reparations, which right over the earth it is being known that I and Rastafari are the original long-standing proponents of this, and anyone who awakes to the reality that it is the burning issue of the 21st century, they have to coordinate with I and I. We said that the president was so perceptive to show I and I that yes, the vibration is good, is wonderful, and he can work with I and I, the brethren of Rastafari. So we were given an invitation that when we get to Addis Ababa, we should communicate with his High Commission there and prepare for travel to South Africa, where he would receive I and I. So, Lion, that was how we arrived in South Africa. Yellow Pie?
Yeah, man, we are listening now. You just talk, man. Just talk. We just want to hear what's going on down there, you know?
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, the arrangements that I and I made with the South African government and with their embassy in Addis Ababa procured tickets for 6 delegates from Addis Ababa with ticketing from the African Union to travel to South Africa. We left on the Wednesday night airport, Addis Ababa, 3:30 in the morning, Thursday morning we depart, arriving Addis Ababa in Pretoria, no, Johannesburg airport, roughly 9:10. We were received by a representative of the Foreign Ministry, Mr. Timan from their Caribbean desk, and we were taken to accommodation prepared at the Arcadia Hotel in the capital city of Pretoria. Tours were prepared for I and I to tour the Johannesburg Institute Museum, and after we did that, we got an immediate call from the Department of Protocol of the Office of the President that we should be prepared to meet him at Union House by 4:45 the said evening. Yeah, man, it was very swift, and we made our appointment there, and we were received with all courtesy and diplomatic protocol, my brethren. Nothing was left out. At the meeting acting director of state protocol.
So how long was the meeting with the president?
Hello?
How long was the meeting with the president?
It was wonderful.
No, how long it was?
Speak again.
How long was the meeting with the president?
It was just under an hour, roughly about 50 minutes.
Okay. And who was present at the meeting in terms of the delegation?
The delegation of Rastafari, brethren?
Yeah, who was present there?
All right. There was, at that time it was only 2 members of the delegation that arrived in Pretoria, because 2 had to travel at 3 a.m. in the morning. The rest of the delegation couldn't be ready. So it was just I, Elijah, as chairman of the Ethiopian Peace Foundation, and Lion Harry Joseph, who is a director from the 12 tribes of Israel. By that time, we had linked up with Ya Asantewa, who I had introduced to the president in Jamaica as our contact in South Africa. So that were the 3 members from Jamaica that was present at that audience.
Okay. So you say, all right, so you're at the meeting?
Yes. Well, at the meeting, as I mentioned, there was the deputy director of protocol in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. There was Reverend Shikani, who many brethren may remember that he, went through a portion of persecution during the apartheid days with Bishop Tutu, and he persevered, and now he's a respected advisor of the president. He was there. There was also Ambassador Sonnen Paul, who he is in charge of the African, Caribbean, and Latin American desk in the Foreign Affairs, and Dr. Ya Ashantiwa was in the meeting also. And, well, we put the basic proposals that we had in Jamaica, that the NEPAD initiative, which the president had proposed, which is a new economic partnership for African development, showing how Africa should strive to develop on its indigenous qualities and assets, and we showed how that initiative was accurate and precise to be coordinated with the international human rights burning issue of reparations. Since I knew that vast resources had to be transferred from those who we refer to as the defendant states who were guilty against of these great crimes against humanity. You see, so it was agreed that yes, reparations could go wonderful with NEPAD, and therefore he appointed several ministers of his government to facilitate our meetings with the relevant departments in South Africa. And what one would say now, prepared our travel arrangements are instituted, what one would say now, the necessary preparations for I and I to travel to Mozambique to meet the current chair of the African Union, because by the time I and I had arrived in, President Thabo Mbeki was now the immediate past chairman, and President Chisano of Mozambique had been now inaugurated as the next of the revolving presidents. And he also instructed his ministers to make arrangements for I and I to travel to Libya to meet Colonel Gaddafi and to prepare all the ticketing arrangements.
Right. So when the item going to visit the man in Mozambique?
All right. Now, President Chisano, when I and I had completed our audience with the High Commission of Mozambique in Pretoria, he advised us that President Chisano had several meetings that he had to complete in different geographical locations to be in Addis Ababa Monday the 15th for the inauguration of the first Secretary General of the African Union. So if I and I felt that it was of vital importance to see him before that meeting, they would suggest that I and I have an audience with him in the VIP lounge in transit Johannesburg Airport. Mm-hmm. So that meeting was actually prepared for I and I on Saturday past. And all the protocol arrangements were made, and I had an audience with His Excellency President Chisano in the VIP lounge at Johannesburg Airport on Saturday. He confirmed all of the matters that we had reasoned with President Thabo Mbeki, and showed his great appreciation that I and I should travel from the Western Hemisphere to present the case of the diaspora, because he said all African heads had now taken up the case of those in the diaspora as an urgent portion of the continental agenda, and that he would make all arrangements for I and I to be at the relevant Organization of African Union meetings and initiate the necessary arrangements for I and I to have observer status in handling the affairs of the people in the Caribbean and the diaspora.
All right. So in Ethiopia, where they're going to have the inauguration, Colonel Gaddafi will be in Ethiopia too?
No, brethren, most of the heads of the African Union are expected to be at that inauguration. But that is not a guarantee, because, you know, they have various government officials that, as we know, standing for them in certain areas of business.
Yes.
And most of the African heads right now are very busy in setting the procedures for the inauguration of the continental government of the United States of Africa. So it is not a positive guarantee that he will be in Addis Ababa, but I know that he will have ministers of government and diplomatic representatives there. Anyway, it is preferable for I and I to visit him in Libya, because I and I prefer to visit him in Sirte, which is his hometown, where of course you remember that the Sirte agreement was completed regarding the foundation of the African Union.
Yeah.
So right now, I and I are awaiting a response from his ambassador in Pretoria, who we had an audience with, what time the colonel has appointed for I and I to meet with him.
Yes.
Because our documentation for travel has already been prepared by the South African government, approving something like 100,000 rands for I and I travel to Libya.
Okay. All right. So how much are the item going to Libya?
That has not yet been arranged. When I arrive in Addis on Monday, then I and I will consult with His Majesty Zara Jacobus for Wassin Makonnen, and then we will collectively choose the delegation that will be going to Libya.
Well, it sounds like they are making some inroads. We give thanks to hear that, you know.
Well, Muta, my brethren, I tell you, say, all I have heard, because I told I and several other brethren that there is a vast community of Rastafari brethren in South Africa, but nothing prepared I and I for what I and I really saw. And since I and I have been here, I and I have been having basically between 3 to 4 diplomatic audiences each day, and after that I and I still have to visit and commune and have devotion with different organs of the Rastafari faith that have invited I and I, and man, it's been wonderful, my brethren, to see the spirit of the Most High recreated in these younger generation daughters and brethren. And my brethren, all of them have as their first most crucial agenda repatriation, you know, brethren.
So, all right, they never reach a Cape Town yet?
No.
Well, it's when they reach Cape Town now, they're going to see the power of the Rasta them, the Rastafari vibration in Cape Town. Total different from Johannesburg.
I have heard.
The idea.
And I are definitely preparing to reach Cape Town. One thing is that now, in trying to make the arrangements to go there, because I have today, Wednesday, until Saturday, because I have secure confirmation of travel to arrive in by Ethiopian Airlines in Addis by let's see, Sunday night at 9 o'clock. So when I showed brethren, you know, what time I really have, when I called in the Cape, they showed I that they were now preparing to go to East Cape for a celebration of the Ethiopian New Year, you know?
Yeah.
So then it would have been difficult for them to make certain arrangements for I, because I found that it would make sense if I have to travel by road according to the distance. So
yeah, but Cape Town is 2 hours air flight from Johannesburg. You know?
Hello?
Cape Town is 2 hours flight from Johannesburg.
That is that arrangement I was trying to make. But at the same time, there are brethren from Northwestern University who require I to give one lecture there today. Yeah, I know, so that would actually cut down the amount of time that I have to both travel to and from Cape Town to fulfill I diplomatic obligations in Addis on Monday. So what I have done now is made an arrangement with them that I will angle Addis, and then the AAA Sirte connection, because I quite likely going to have to go to London before I go to AAA, you know, right? And I have some budgeting in different areas of the continent which I need to go and access that have already been confirmed for I. So I show them that with those budgeting approvals, I should be able to, acquire a private motor that, it would make traveling on the continent more, up to date,
Yeah.
So they have agreed that they would allow I then to reschedule I visit to the Cape after I tried in from Libya.
Mm-hmm. Well, Regine, it sound good, We just hope that they, as you say, continue to make the inways, over the years.
Yes.
The inways have been made, more the merrier. We give thanks to the more the merrier,
Yes.
So when I see that they will come forward to Jamaica.
All right. Now, you see this trip that I have scheduled for Libya. His Highness the Crown Prince Estefanos Mangasha was saying that what works he see and I accomplish in 1 week in South Africa, he really desired I to be in Ethiopia for 6 months to see what I would accomplish there. But
6 months?
At the same time, hello?
6 months, you say?
Yes, that's what they are proposing, that I should stay in Addis for that period. I haven't made any agreement on that as yet, because I would have really have approved that with Zara Jacob, since is really on his invitation I ride in.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, what has happened is with the meeting with President Chisano and also the meeting with Zimbabwe, because we have met with their High Commission to prepare for a trip to Zimbabwe, also to link up with President Mugabe, and also with Nigeria to link up with President Olusegun Obasanjo, since he was in the original agreement that established the group of eminent persons. And you know that we have met with Winnie, and Winnie has actually immediately agreed to be the international sponsor and moral patron of reparations. Mm-hmm. So right now we are preparing some arrangements for Winnie to actually arrive in Addis Ababa to get confirmation from the Organization of African Unity regarding that new status for her, right? So what has been proposed to I is that instead of going to Libya and return to Addis, that I should go on to New York to deal with the United Nations, because what they are offering, I know, is representation on behalf of the diaspora, because they show that they appreciate the amount of documentation and track record that I have been able to bear on this procedure and on this international settlement, because they say that they have been working on it, and they are most pleased to know that in the West, there has been ones who have been working on it so diligently that we can now coordinate.
Yeah.
So when I am in Addis Ababa, those arrangements will be made. Now, if I have to travel to New York, I have already been invited by the brethren in Miami to link them from a reach in New York, saying, so from I make the link there, and I will make an effort to be in Jamaica even for a week or probably 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I.
Well, that would be like when? When that would be? The Miami link?
That would be between 9 days to 14 days.
From now?
Yes.
Okay. Because you have some events that take place in a Miami for Peter Tosh,
Yes.
Ones are there too, I don't know.
Well, Lion Muta, I know say is only for the eye to communicate I, and let I and I know, fire, because I tell the eye, it's amazing to believe that I could barely get a ticket to leave Jamaica. One at a time it looked like I couldn't even get a visa for go Grand Cayman to Ras, and now that I am here, in I briefcase, I have 8 tickets to travel to different parts of the world, and these things are volunteered by different heads of state and, what one would say now, ambassadors charge their affairs, high commissions. That
them say when one door closed, the other one open.
Is the living truth, my brethren?
Yeah.
The living truth.
Yeah, man.
I am amazed at the reception of the testimony from I and I, my brethren.
Yes.
As the Almighty God live it. All I know is the living truth, and I hear I school I and I. Yet when I hear the words that come out I and I mouth, my brethren, and I see the effect of them among, heads of state and, experienced diplomats, it really is something to behold. So it's just an amazement and thanksgiving to the wonderful one who really, school all of us.
So they went to Shashamane?
Of course, man, away as a man.
Bongo Rocky and
and I reach in Addis, and next year I reach a Shashamane.
Yes.
At the first place I eat Chalice on the continent with Bongo Rocky and daughter Baby I.
Yes.
Yeah, man, at the biggest tabernacle I ever see.
Yeah, man, the tabernacle big, man.
I returned here.
The tabernacle big dog there.
Oh, man, is the biggest tabernacle I ever behold in my days.
Yes, yeah. Well, I know they have much more to see,
My brethren, I give thanks for that moment just to just give a brief report to the I am a Lion and to encourage I brethren and daughters in the West. So listen now, all of the people upon the continent is like them almost revere I and I. Them want see I and I. Them don't want I and I leave. Them agitate full time for the whole of I and I reach up here. So when I read the prophecies to show them about the Sabbath of Sabbath, the great Sabbath that have a whole upon the continent here with all of over taken away from the West. I mean, them just eat that up, my Lion. And it's that I and I work for, So one knows that we soon clean out the whole of the Western hemisphere like a vacuum cleaner, my brethren.
Yeah.
Without apology, who wants to stay there is just their choice. But Africa doors wide open and the gates them wide open. Lion is like, as you know, is like you're giving a clean slate, you can write anything you want, It's like you're giving a blank check, by the Almighty that you can just write in your figures, So right now, my brethren, to what authority and governmental leverage that I and I have been given by the presidents, we just have to make certain that we use it wisely and implement it with discretion. They are seen so that when we have to give them reports, they will be fully satisfied on the extent that they have put themselves out to really give I and I these, authority in their countries, So I and I are looking forward, my brethren, to just pure triumph and pure victory, my Lion.
Sure.
Most sincerely.
All right, give thanks. Asantua is there?
Yes, man. One moment. Asantua, reception. Yes, yeah, on another line, but we're going to have to interrupt it and I'm going to take over the business and let her talk to the eye. One moment.
All right, then.
Greetings.
Blessed Asantua.
Rastafari, you can see I can't even respond to no emails. I get one, I respond. And I'm meeting up with Zinzi tomorrow because she hasn't even been here and she's organizing certain things.
Yeah. Well, no. We're not under that, me call you for. We just call you for find out how you do.
Muta does enough works. Me just, God will have the ones them in and, just be able to be of service. Me just stop everything so that them can make sure that the mission is accomplished,
All right. Yeah, we give thanks for your input,
it's very positive, Muta. I mean, when you see how Jalal opened doors, I mean, I know our powers, but when I see, you know, even the way how ministers of government have been jumping around his brethren, you know, President Chisano fly to Johannesburg just so that this meeting can happen, you know, and them showing us that reparations and repatriation is number 4 on the AU agenda. The South African government pay for 6 tickets for ones and ones to travel to Libya to see Muammar Gaddafi, you know. All them things are happening, you know, and Muta, me know, say, in terms of reparations and repatriations, ones and ones taking it, because the key thing that they have asked for is a desk in the AU dealing with reparations and repatriation facilitated by Rastafari ones, you know. Yeah. And President Chisana even go as far to show that the problem with this request is that ones and ones in America are blocking the Caribbean effort. African Americans don't regard I&I in the Caribbean in terms of managing the effort of the African issue of reparations and repatriation. And he said we have to go deal with that, and he's very concerned about the African American agenda, really the Caribbean agenda, you know. Yeah. And that was a very profound statement he made, Muta.
Well, if we just continue the work, you know.
Yes, sir.
If we continue the work.
And Chaser did 2 big lunches for them in the new house, Muta.
Who?
Chaser.
Oh, yeah?
Open up the house for the ones, them, and, you know, just, you know, enough 2 dinner, 1 welcome dinner, 1 farewell dinner. And I just
is Lando?
Movie now. Lando? Empress Lando? Tell her to come forward.
She there, eh? Oh, she for that?
Yes, greetings. Yeah, man, we have all the elder youth, them a travel with the elder, you know. Lando a travel with I&I and Nether Brethren, because we have a contingent, we not travel nowhere without a couple of vehicles, you know, where the president just released the I&I, you know.
Okay, give thanks.
So let's hold forward. Empress Lando, can you please come and greet Jamaica? And Brethren Title, just hail up Muta. Muta is enough love for the eye and the inspiration, and, you know, me not going to stop do the work irrespective of what ones and ones want try to do to I&I. You know, so my work is for Muta, and me not stop praise His Majesty and do the work of the King, you know.
Give thanks.
And give thanks for the high support of I&I, you know. I mean, not stop sing Muta praise. So who not want to hear that, I just so them have to just, you know, rest up with that. So lastly, I know, because when you're in South Africa, you make I&I work easy. I mean, not stop to that.
Yes.
You see? Just hold forward for the 2 you, them, Empress Lando and Virgin Seattle. Just forward. Rastafari.
Lando.
Yes, I greetings.
You talk to Jamaica, you know.
Seen, yes, I.
I don't see no email or nothing.
Yes, I.
Eh?
The line is not clear. Greetings.
Blessed.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm hearing.
Yes, I say happy Ethiopian Day to all of the Jamaicans.
I thought you was in Zimbabwe.
No, I is here in Johannesburg this time.
Okay, so give thanks to you upon the Jamaican radio, you know.
Truly, I is working hard, you know, preparing for the item to come forward home.
Yes.
You know.
All right.
Yes,
all right, who else is there?
Forward. Pardon?
Who else is there?
Who else is the other brethren, Sitle, from Pretoria?
Okay.
One moment.
Greetings.
Blessed.
Rastafari living, you know. Happy Heritage Day, Africans abroad, you know. And I feel very grateful to talk with the brethren, you know, to let the brethren be aware also that we are in the duty this side. Hey, I.
Yeah, blessed.
That is true. This is Congo, Yaso in South, you know. And now, you know, we love to see the brethren physical, to let them repatriate physical. We like the works that the brethren are being strengthening, the way that they being make us be aware here, so in Africa, about the whole works that need to be done in this time as a mission. So we give thanks to all the brethren abroad. Let them see the truth in this time. That right now we are getting ready for the brethren to come at home. Hey,
well, as we say, the work is moving on. You know, we give thanks for the communication, and we know, say, why these vibrations make Africa even look closer to it. You know, there was a time when we couldn't even communicate like this. You know, and now we see that we have brethren in South Africa, sisters in South Africa, Ethiopia, all over the globe. and we can communicate and radio programs in Jamaica with the brethren them. So we give thanks for these moments, you know. We know that the movement is pushing through, you know.
Rastafari.
Yes.
Yeah, let you networking.
Because we now go just bow down and go down, you know, I just saw it go, because we life that, you know, just we life. We give thanks, brethren, give thanks, Citrin, you know, and as we say, you know, South Africa is like my second home now, so we soon come, you know.
All right, my lion. And you see, the event that you show I and I about, I and I go and check it out and get the link on the iPhone, you know.
You mean the one in Miami?
Aware and prepare for listen to a link from I.
You mean in January or in Miami?
In January.
Yeah, Cape Town.
Yeah, I will check out that.
Yes. All right, blessed. Give thanks for brethren.
It's tomorrow. I and I meeting with Winnie Forward, you know.
Oh, you're meeting with Winnie again?
Yes, man. Oh, yes, man. Winnie and the Rastafari, I feel tight, you know, my brethren.
No, me I tell that.
All right. We'll
wait,
have to remind you.
I tell that. Jalide. I can't tell you that.
I true, man. I know the link between the eye and her, man, still. So I just straight have to go fire.
Yes. You get peace. You get peace how we are dealing with it.
I live in truth, man, and we see the whole edge open before I and I, my brethren.
All right, sir.
Sincerely.
Yeah, man. Give thanks.
So, Lion Muta.
Yes.
Most sincere thanksgiving for the link here.
Yeah, man. And anytime they are ready, just call again and, you know, so we're upon it.
But of course, you know, so as soon as we advance any development, we are going to call the eye.
Yes.
And next Tuesday, they must prepare for a link from Ethiopia.
Wednesday?
Yes, next Wednesday.
Yes, of course.
So can I and I do it the said time?
Yeah, man. What you mean, man? Of course.
All right. I and I go set that for next Wednesday from Addis, right?
Yeah, blessed.
Yes, give I and I love and thanksgiving, respect and encouragement all the brethren and sisters down there, and show all of them say, exactly as the Most High had said, I will gather I and I people in the east, and I will send for those in the west. I will say to the north, give up unto the south, will
not back. Bring my sons and my daughters from the ends of the earth.
And I daughters from the ends of the
even
earth.
Even they that are called by my name.
That is called by a great, terrible, and awesome name. I Selassie.
Rastafari.
Rastafari. One love, my brethren.
Blessed.
Wink of an eye.
Give thanks.
Executive Director of the School of Hotel, Restaurant and Tourism, Goyimwole Enukomeko Kodo, says the African has become such a great embarrassment to God, and it is about time the black race changed its mindset about itself and where it came from. He lamented bitterly about the African's refusal to embrace his or her tradition and culture, and said the African culture is much more than just drumming and dancing, and there is the need for Africans to dig deeper into the history books to acquire knowledge about the genesis of their civilization.
He said this at a socio-cultural workshop and exhibition of African Museum for some visiting American students from the University of Texas and their counterparts from the School of Hotel, Restaurant and Tourism here in Accra.
From Africa, born in America.
There is a saying that if you know your history, then you will know where you're coming from, and then journeying into the future becomes comprehensible. The black race has been brainwashed into believing that it is worthless and helpless. We have forfeited our way of life and tend to believe that living the Western way is the best. The Western media is accused of presenting Africa as an uncivilized, hunger-stricken and war-torn continent to the rest of the world, and as a result has made the African or the black race home and abroad lose confidence in themselves. The founder of African Conscious Study Group, Dr. Molana Hamet, in lecturing some university students, linked Africa's problems to the kind of educational system brought by the European colonial masters, and said it was to de-Africanize the African's mind,
spirit, body, and soul. According to a professor of the University of Texas, Dr. Doree Gilbert, who has for the past 5 years led over 100 students to Ghana to study Ghanaian social and community development programs, such lectures would help the students perceive Africa.
And they work with several entities here, NGOs, schools, and they all work on sustainable development projects, and so that's the focus. We also have lectures, and Dr. Hamlet Mwana is one of those lecturers, and of course today we were able to enjoy a very stimulating, exciting, and charismatic lecture from Dr. Mwana that we truly appreciated.
Across our planet. Now you see why I have to speak this truth? You see why? Wasn't it?
Yes, come forward to that. Yes, EL.
Yeah, Mota.
Yeah, how you doing?
Listen. So I like to do a song. I'm not a poet. With your permission.
Eh?
With your permission, I like to do a poetry.
Yeah, man, go on.
Listen. The name is LG Moore. Yeah? And this one is called Gem. The first song the first poetry that I wrote. I met you in Queens and you're over here in New York. You know? Yes, sir.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright. I am a gem. I am where in Africa they found me. They stopped and stared, struck up my beauty, appalled at my strength, coveted my knowledge. I am heaven sent, with arms outstretched. See how they went, my friendship. Oh, how they plunder, broke us asunder. They killed all my friends, put me on a ship. I questioned his eyes, he answered, whip. Many you died from the passage at sea. The water they drank did not agree, or was it absence of land? They didn't see. I carried this pain, it's buried in me. On Jamaica I land, yes, I land. Far from Mama, Africa, I made this my land. We work so hard, remember God, never forsake us, no hiatus. They must have hate us, see how they chase us. We try to run, see how they race us. We fall down, see how they rape us and colored us white. Oh, how they take us. The black now has shades of white. And we love to chase that which is light. Forget the night. Is that our plight? Am I wrong? Well, tell me you're right. And still I'm black. Yes, it's a fact. Don't know nothing else, because I can't act. My colors are loud. My smile is proud. This light you can't shroud. I know from whence I came, a land of gold, oil, and diamonds, GODs. I am a gem. I am rare.
Yeah, man.
Yes, man, I hear that.
Great, man. Great poem, that. Trust me.
You know, since I just hear you give the compliments, and I just have put more fire, isn't it?
Yeah, man, a great poem, man. So me like how I deliver it too.
Yeah, man.
I deliver it powerful.
I'm the first poem that worked on YouTube, man. It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube?
Yeah, man.
Then I forgot me,
I am a gem. LG Moore. EL space G. M-O-O-R.
No, you have to too fast, man. You call back the operator and give him the name of it.
Okay.
Call back the operator and give your name and the name of the poem. Let me look it from YouTube, yeah?
Alright, next year let me do something else. Remember, so me tell me I go do a song now. Remember, me tell me I go do a song now.
You tell me say you go do a song, then how you do a poem?
Me and you go do a poem.
Me and you? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Remember
so.
we are talking now.
Yeah, all right. No, I don't remember who me talk to.
All right.
I don't remember who me talk to, but if you say me, you say so or so. Or I you say so. I you say so.
Sister P, man. Yeah.
I you say me, I go do a song.
Yeah. Well, with your permission. With your permission.
All right.
Yeah. Right over there. unrehearsed from your side. You see me?
All right, blessed. Just call back the operator and get him the number, yeah? The poor man thing, yeah. All right, give thanks. Yes, great point of Richard a while ago. Okay, where were they? We want to play this.
Several years, the Israeli government was forcibly administering birth control to a segment of its minority population, with doctors injecting Ethiopian Jewish women against their will with a contraceptive, Depo-Provera. But it wasn't until this January that a government official finally acknowledged it. One investigative journalist who interviewed 35 Ethiopian immigrants found that they were being intimidated and threatened into taking the shots, while being told that they were merely inoculations. But many speculate it was all part of a deliberate attempt to restrict an expanding minority in the country. You see, over the last 2 decades, Israel's experienced a significant influx of Ethiopian immigrants. They're now being close to 130,000 living in the country. And while the government has finally put an end to this inhumane, insane population control tactic, the story has shed a light on a dangerous contraceptive that's now being pushed and administered on women of color all over the world, including right here in the U.S. So here to talk about the use of Depo-Provera and how this is targeting minority populations in both here and abroad, I'm joined now by Randy Short, President and National Spokesperson for the Anti-Depo-Provera Clergy Coalition. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
So, Israel allegedly put this to an end. Can you talk about what you know about the health effects, though? Because obviously women were being administered this for years without knowing about them.
Well, the drug was first patented in 1959. By the middle 60s, there were a lot of unethical experimentations done, in particular the Grady Clinic study in Georgia on poor black and poor white women. God knows how many people died. This drug did not get approved until 1993-94, but during that time that was used on women all over. The effects of it are serious: excessive bleeding, osteoporosis, breast cancer, cervical cancer, heart attack, stroke, ectopic pregnancies, excessive weight gain, which can lead to type 1 or 2 diabetes, short or long-term infertility, maternal death. It strips the epithelium, the inner part of the woman's womb, making her more susceptible to all STIs and STDs. Therefore, doubling the chances of getting HIV, AIDS, chlamydia, HPV, gonorrhea, or syphilis. And there are other things that bothers the mental health. One of the things that's come to us, that the group that I work with, the Rebecca Project, is that many women are telling us that they've had mental problems. The FDA in 2004 was so concerned about the dangerous nature of Depo-Provera that they issued a black box warning, which is the most serious warning that can be issued by the FDA about how dangerous this drug is.
And despite this warning, this black box warning, it's still being administered under multiple agencies to multiple countries around the world.
Yes.
Who is administering it? Why? And where?
Well, it's being used primarily in non-white countries. So Muslim countries, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Burma, possibly on the Myanmar minority, all over Africa, Central America and Latin America, and of course in the United States, depending on whose information you look at, it's disproportionately used on African American women. Who's doing it? Planned Parenthood is one of the big purveyors of it. In addition to that, you have the Population Council, you have the International Federation of Planned Parenthood, you have a lot of persons and groups that have a Malthusian view that there are too many people, and therefore they want to reduce the population. They know this drug is deadly, it's cheap, and it makes huge profits for the parent maker, which is Pfizer.
And USAID is also one of the agencies as well.
For 47 years, it's been an unofficial policy of the USAID Office on Population to use or to send abroad dangerous, unsafe, untested, or unapproved drugs. And
you said that this is being obviously disproportionately affecting minority populations.
Yes.
If they know that it's deadly, why would they be administering it to minority populations? I mean, what is really this all about here?
There are too many non-white people. If you look at a gentleman by the name of Dr. Ravenholt, who was head of the USAID Office on Population from about 1966 until 1979, he was able to first convince President Johnson that it was in the national and commercial interests of the United States that 1/4 of the women in the developing world be sterilized. So there's some sense that if there are too many black or brown people, that somehow their needs will conflict with the capitalistic, imperialistic aims of the United States and its allies.
And there's been multiple lawsuits against Pfizer for the detrimental health effects from this drug, but they seem to be getting away with it and seem to keep, direct-to-consumer advertising. Well, how are they doing this?
Well, they're making a lot of money. The U.S. Department of Justice has sued them in the last 10 years and fined them about $6 billion. But if you're making billions and billions, it's the price of doing business. But you have to understand, the people that are being steered towards this drug are poor. They lack education and legal representation, and they're being tricked, so they don't know. Now, you have to understand, Pfizer lost in Canada. They've lost in Europe. But they go to countries where they can't be sued. You can't sue from Nigeria here. You can't sue from Mozambique here. So you can go to countries where you either have a corrupt government structure or they're coerced, or should I say they've constructively manipulated into having this drug as part of their international foreign aid. Do you see what I'm saying? So the women become just chess pieces in a Malthusian eugenics game.
And so you think this goes beyond just a corporation making as much money as it can, pushing it on as many people as it can. You think it actually goes down to, this is a modern day form of eugenics, I would say.
And genocide, yes.
And it's happening here in the U.S. as well.
Yes, it is.
Well, that's very shocking, and we'll definitely follow up with this story. Very disturbing. Thank you so much for coming on.
Right.
Thank you for your time. Randy Short, President National Spokesman.
And I'm with the Rebecca Project on here.
Yeah, man.
Just a phone and just a hope for all for the best, brethren, Brigadier Jerry, with all the tribulation them going through here right now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, you know.
Charge them sound away.
Yes, and so I know it's really a sticky situation, but the Almighty Creator can do everything. So I'm just hope for the best with brethren Brigadier Jerry, because, from the 70s, know each other and thing, and just not too long ago, about 2 years ago, when him come up with Uri and Lico John and General Trees, on tour and a flex and thing and take some pictures and thing. But so we just wish all the best to Brigadier Jerry that him be able to come a road to the help of the Creator. And we see Zimbabwe under renewed pressures because the Trump administration saying that unless them return, unless them give land to the Europeans, them not take off the sanctions that George Bush Jr. did start. Zidera, Z-I-D-E-R-A, and which Obama continued those sanctions. Yes. And Trump, so whether Democrat or Republican, the same racist imperialist policies, yes, and like how the present government, despite the things that go on with President Mugabe and things, holding strong, because they realize that these are Europe, the Trump administration leading the European attack to recolonize Zimbabwe. And it's an example for the rest of Africa too, because they want to make an example of Zimbabwe because of what President Mugabe did.
Yeah.
In terms of backing the war veterans who reclaimed our land.
Yeah. Well, I say a thing with Gambia. I bring a country in front of the Hague World Court there. I don't remember which the so-called world court that this is virtually only Africans them carry to that. Yeah, but the Gambian I bring, I think it's a white country to it. I don't know. I don't remember the name. I didn't have the name. I know there's something about anyway. Yeah, but that is really something else for the Gambian, because Gambia, you know, is a small country in Africa there.
Yes, well, the prosecutor is a female, I knew some time ago, for the World Court there. The European World Court, I would say. But as I and a lot of other Pan-Africanists say, who to be brought to the World Court, the European World Court, is Tony Blair and George Bush.
Yeah, of course.
Them go on with.
Definitely.
Yes, it's them supposed to be brought there, you know. So for them one pick some little token European thing, the real war criminals them is like Henry Kissinger, George Bush Jr. and also Tony Blair, you know. But I'm glad all people in South Africa standing, and the rest of the African world must stand with Zimbabwe, because as you know, sanctions is a form of warfare, deadly.
Yeah, of course.
You know.
Then them do that with Iraq and kill off 500 people.
Using bullets and that type of thing, yes. And to encourage the people, them say, you know, to rise up to get rid of them own government we're holding on to control of them own country. And we see what happening in Bolivia there. It's an next US back coup that, you know, forget out Evo Morales.
Yeah. But speak to me about the Brexit and we are going to England, you know.
Well, with the Brexit thing, there was a debate Tuesday night between Jeremy Corbyn of Labour and Boris Johnson of the Tories, and Jeremy Corbyn in that debate definitely did far better than Johnson. He answered the questions. When you ask Johnson questions, he avoid answering the questions and only want to talk about Brexit. Every question you ask him, you say, do Brexit and things will be solved, which is nonsense. And Jeremy Corbyn actually made the true point that what Boris Johnson is trying to do is to get rid of the NHS by allowing the USA, them companies and so on, to come in and control and, you know, get rid of the NHS, which is National Health Service. NHS is something that has saved the life of many people who would have been dead.
Yeah. Because
they don't have money for medical treatment. And the NHS, which was established in 1948, is really a blessing for people. And the NHS would not have worked without nurses and doctors from the Caribbean and elsewhere. Just like how our people who came from the Caribbean and rebuilt Britain after Hitler and other Germans had bombed Britain to smithereens. You know? And the way it's looking now, the Tories are nervous because they realize that come the 12th of December, Jeremy Corbyn can win, Labour can win. And this is why most of the newspapers, the daily newspapers and a lot of the TV stations, they are against Jeremy Corbyn because he represents redistributing the wealth in Britain.
Okay.
In the favor of the vast majority of the people. This is the real fear, you know. So this is why they come on with things about so-called anti-Semitic, which is not anti-Semitic, is anti-Jewish thing them talking about, and that type of thing, you know, all kind of schisms and schisms to detract from the real reality that the Tories, with their austerity, has increased the suffering of the vast majority of people in Britain. And now that people have heard Jeremy Corbyn and him talking on Tuesday on ITV, more people are warming to Jeremy Corbyn. And I am definitely hoping as a Pan-Africanist strategically that Jeremy Corbyn leading Labour, that they will win. Because Boris Johnson is definitely someone totally anti-African. When he came in as mayor for London, one of the first things that he do is slash the budget for African History Month to virtually nothing. So I think to just £10,000 to the year. Never want it at all, you know. No. So Jeremy Corbyn, the pace is up, and the Liberal Democrats are not to be trusted because them are tours in disguise. Because Joe Swinson, the female who is leading the Liberal Democrats, she's totally against Jeremy Corbyn and would rather do an alliance, make an alliance with Johnson, with Boris Johnson, who incidentally, by the way, was actually born in New York City. Okay. You know, and he worships Trump. You know, he's the Donald Trump in Britain. Boris Johnson.
All right. So
it's a bumbler. Whenever you ask him questions, he don't answer. You know. You know, he always evade questions. Jeremy Corbyn did well, and there will be more debates, but it's coming closer to the date of the 12th. You know, and I can tell you this, and all other listeners, these elections coming here, the 12th of December, 2019, will be the most fundamental elections since 1948, when the Clement Attlee Labour government won over Winston Churchill's Tory, because it is an election that will decide decisively the future of the vast majority of people in Britain who have been suffering, whereby the 1%, the very few, have become richer and richer, and the majority, what we call the 99%,
right, that is there everywhere. That they everywhere,
man. Poorer and poorer.
But like they everywhere, like the 1% they everywhere. Look at the 1% they all over the world. The same 1%.
No, but it's the same 1% because they work together and ally this 1%, and it goes to show that it's not numbers, that merely numbers that run things, you know. Because they are small in numbers, but they work together and are organized. And this is why Marcus Garvey say organization is the biggest enemy of the African, that we have to organize in order to win. Nothing beats organization. Organized few always rule over the vast majority if the vast majority are not organized. That's the reality of life.
Yeah, I want to switch the subject here. You know Van Benjamin? Midnight.
This is the brother from who passed away. You have done interviews with him in the past, man.
Yeah, but you only not play music in England.
Island, St. Croix.
Only not play music up in England.
Yes, he's admired here. He's admired here.
I just try to find out if there's
people.
I did try to find out if there's anything I go on film up there, because there's a whole heap of things are going all over the place. Film, I just
Yes. You have had expressions of regret. In fact, it came as a surprise because there was no warning that like he was sick or anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 50-year-old, almost 50.
Yes, came out of the blue, you know what I mean?
When I ask, you don't play midnight music them up there? Midnight music, I mean, as a man we play music and thing, you don't play midnight. Not
really, but I know of him. When I said I mean, not in terms of radio shows and that type of thing. But I know of you know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyway,
so much music and thing, but
okay, you know, Becca. Him name after Van was okay, Becca. After him leave midnight, him go up on a solo okay, Becca. The artist, and him did go on quite good, especially in the west coast of California, America, there, on the California side.
Yeah, the west coast, California side.
Yeah, him go on good, but yes. Anyway, you know. we don't ask if him if he was known there, you know, in England. Like,
yes, he was. He was known here, you know. He was known here, which is why it was viral on social media here when he passed. You know, the shock and the sadness.
Yeah, we have to move on all
he was concerned, you know. I always know when someone of note by how busy the social media. That's a definite indicator.
Blow up,
you know,
social media blow up.
You always know when a lot of people know by how it becomes viral on social media, you know.
All right, we have to move. We have to move, yeah.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah, man.
All right.
So we want to start here again, want to start here continuation again in England. Want to start here continuation again in England.
Yes. I must say that we are here in cutting edge in England, you know, and our big up all of the supporters of the cutting edge in England, you know, big up SLR and
more people listen to it in England than Jamaica, you know. You have more people that listen to us in England than Jamaica.
No, I have become aware of that for quite some time now, you know, that more people listen to the cutting edge.
In England,
in England.
Yeah, more than Birmingham.
More than Jamaica. And you know, and one of the reasons for it, one of the main reasons for it, is that what people said to me here is that it makes them keep in touch with what is happening in Jamaica. In other words, them trust the authenticity of the cutting edge about what is happening in Jamaica and elsewhere.
Yes.
More than listening or getting information from other sources.
Yeah, some people, some using a German, they tell me, say, I saw them know Jamaican language when they listen to it. Them stay the language.
And that makes sense.
Yeah.
So in other words, cutting edge become a school for speak in Jamaica.
University. All right, we have to move. Yeah? Give thanks.
All right, okay.
Yes, this is the Cutting Edge on RFM, you know, another Wednesday. You know, we'll be back here at 2 o'clock. 2 p.m. to 5:45 p.m. with the Stepping Razor, the art of war. And there's so much things we say them having. Why so much things are happening, you know. I have to go find the people. Them tomorrow we tell you about them still. Tomorrow we tell you about them, and we never talk about certain things on the program tonight because we want to keep it for tomorrow. You understand? We want to keep it for tomorrow. So we'll go power to the tune we play a while ago, Afrobeat style.